off against the Harrison Turks. Coming up, or tonight's game is sponsored by Augusta Health, CNF Mortgage, and Brookdale Senior Living. So quickly, the starting lineup for the away team, though real quickly, the first pitch will be given out by the president of Augusta Health, or Augusta Medical Group, Chris Doan.
President of the Augusta Medical Group.
Again, the starting lineup for the Harrisonburg. We have Bennett Gary starting off, followed by Andy Perez. Elijah Gilliams bats third. Andrew Fontaine is in close-up. Brody Dalton is fifth. Connor Spellman is the designated hitter. He will bat sixth. Jackson Walker will bat seventh. Philip Garcia bats eighth. And rounding it all out, Trey Miranda. Coming up after this quick little break, the defensive lineup for your Staunton Braves. All right, now the defensive lineup for your Staunton Braves. Catching tonight will be number 13, Drew Lucy. Keegan Hasler is on over at first base. Caleb Williams is covering second, and Jake Merrick will round out the bases over at third with Max Lawson and shortstop. For the outfield, Julian Braga is over in left field. Jose Vasquez is patrolling center, and Brody Melton rounds it all out over in right field. On the mound for the Braves, number 15, attending Towson, Owen Shapiro. Shapiro is making his 8th appearance, 8th start, has a 4.15 ERA, and has gone 34.2 innings. First batter that Shapiro will face, none other than Bennett Gary. Gary currently batting .282 on the season, has a .440 on-base percentage, 1 homer, and 18 RBIs, and he will watch ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming. Shapiro will get set and now delivers. That's inside ball 2. So quickly, Shapiro's behind 2-0. Gary making his first appearance tonight. Right now, Braves currently 1 game behind Waynesboro for first in the South, as we will watch ball 3. Shapiro will now get set, trying to find the strike zone. 3-0 pitch on the way. In there, strike 1. So we now have a 3-1 count coming on the way to Gary. Gary currently playing left field for the Turks. And now Shapiro will get set. Now he has the pitch. And kicks, delivers. 3-1 on the way, swung on, fouled straight back. And that will give us a full count pitch. Again, Gary currently batting .282 on the season. As we are here, final week of play. Shapiro will now get set. Payoff pitch coming on the way. That's ball 4, so a leadoff walk to start the game here tonight.
Now batting the shortstop.
That'll bring up number 33, Andy Perez. Perez currently batting .314 on the season 440 on-base percentage, 1 homer, and 14 RBIs. And he will face Owen Shapiro with a runner on first. And the first pitch outside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-0 count to Perez. Going to be playing shortstop tonight. And now Shapiro, 1-0 pitch, swung on. That'll be tipped foul. So now we'll do a 1-1 count. Right now, Shapiro trying to get out of this inning early, keep this a 0-0 game here in the first. Quick glance on over to Gary. And now pickoff move in time. What a play! Shapiro gets the pickoff move. Gary ends up sleeping a little bit, and that will be out 1. So with that, we now have a 1-1 count with 1 out here. And just like that, it is like that walk never happened. 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be a grounder. Almost fielded by the third baseman. That is Jake Merrick. So Perez will reach on the error. So with that, that brings up Elijah Gilliams. Gilliams currently batting.
Elijah Gilliams, the first baseman, wearing number 50.
Gilliams currently 344 on the season, a 376 on-base percentage, 2 homers, and 25 RBIs. That will be ball 1. And actually, Perez managed to reach second on that play, the 1-0 pitch. That misses inside, ball 2. So now Shapiro faces a 2-0 count. Right now, runner on second in Perez. And the 2-0 pitch swung on. That was a high chopper, fielded by Williams. Throws on over to first in time for outs number 2. But that does advance the runner up 90 feet.
Now batting the catcher, number 29.
Bring up number 29, Andrew Fonte. Fonte currently batting .237 on the season. Has a 324 on-base percentage, no homers, and 8 RBIs. Now Shapiro will get set. And the first pitch to Fonte, inside, ball 1. So now Fonte, who will be catching tonight for the Turks, is having an 0-1 count. And the 1-0 pitch on the way, in there, strike 1. So now we have a 1-1 count, 2 outs here. Shapiro trying to get out of the inning. Shapiro delivers 1-1, swung on, that'll be fielded. Merrick fields it on over at third, and a long throw on over to Haesler at first in time for outs number 3. And the inning is over. So the Turks score no runs off no hits. 1 error was made, and 1 was left on base. Coming up next, bottom of the first, brought to you by Augusta Health. The Braves will be up to bat, and after this quick break, tell you the starting lineup for your Staunton Braves. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia. Currently we are tied at 0-0 here in the bottom of the first, brought to you by Augusta Health. The starting lineup for your Staunton Braves. We will start off with Jose Vasquez, followed by Max Lawson, and Brody Melton rounds out the starting three. Julian Braga bats cleanup, followed by Cooper Mars. Keegan Hasler will bat sixth. Caleb Williams bats seventh. Jake Merrick eighth. And Drew Lucy rounds it all out. So the first batter is going to be Jose Vasquez. Vasquez currently batting .281 on the season as he watches strike one. He has a .405 on-base percentage, 2 homers, and 22 RBIs. So we have an 0-1 count now coming on the way. That'll be hit going into foul territory, and that will be foul for strike two. So we now have an 0-2 count coming on the way to Vasquez, center fielder for the Braves. So he gets set to receive. A hit by pitch, so now Vasquez will take first base after 2 strikes, and that'll bring up shortstop Max Lawson. Lawson currently batting .261, a .420 on-base percentage, and has 12 RBIs. Now we'll quickly go over the defensive lineup for the Turks. Andrew Fonse is catching with Elijah Gilliams. On over at first, we have Trey Miranda playing second. Philip Garcia over at third. Andy Perez rounds out the infield at shortstop. Bennett Gary is on over at left field. Jackson Walker is in patrolling center. And Brody Dalton rounds it all out in right field. On the mound today for the Turks, we have Jackson Reeves, number 38, currently making his 9th appearance, his 6th start. He's gone 28.2 innings and has a 6.59 ERA. And no play was made after that ground ball. So we now have runners on first and second. That'll bring up Brody Melton. Melton currently batting .263 on the season, has a .348 on-base percentage, 7 homers, and 30 RBIs. Both of those stats do lead the team. And he gets set to receive the first pitch with runners on first and second. First pitch swung on and missed for strike one. So a couple quick base runners. Jose Vasquez on over at second was hit by a pitch. Then Lawson ends up hitting a grounder to shortstop. Perez not quite able to field it. And now the 0-1 pitch to Melton outside for ball one. So again, right now, Melton looked to extend his RBIs lead. It currently has 30. Second highest is 22, held by Vasquez and Braga. And that will be in there for strike two. So we currently have a 1-2 count with no outs here. Again, Vasquez on over at second, Lawson at first. Reeves took a quick back. That'd be swung on, and that's hit fouled back. So we'll redo the 1-2 count. So 1 ball, 2 strikes coming on the way to Melton. Speedy Jose Vasquez on over at second. And now the 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, strike three, and Melton is down on strikes. So that'll bring up Julian Braga, left fielder.
Braga.
Braga currently batting .299 on the season, has a .434 on-base percentage, 6 homers, and 22 RBIs. And he has a good shot to extend or cut into that lead that Belton has in the RBI category. So now Reeves delivers first pitch. That'll be swung on, sent in far, heading back into left field. And the catch will be made. All the runners will start to advance. Throw on over will not be in time. So everyone advances 90 feet to give us 2 outs. And a runner on over at second and third.
Now batting the DH.
That'll bring up the DH, number 38, Cooper Mars. Mars is currently batting .375 on the season, a .500 on-base percentage, no homers, and 7 RBIs. Right now, good opportunity trying to get the lead for the Braves as the first pitch is in there for strike 1. So Mars now faces an 0-1 count with 2 outs here, bottom of the first. And the 0-1 pitch. That's outside, ball 1. And now the DH has a 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Reeves trying to get out of the inning after letting the first 2 runners on board. Now Reeves will get set and delivers 1-1 pitch. That'll be in the dirt. Gets away, but no one will advance, so we get ball 2. So that gives a 2-1 count. Fonte lost it for a split second, but it never got far away enough to allow Vasquez or Lawson to advance. So now Reeves will get set for the 2-1 pitch. Now delivers. That'll be hit foul to give us a 2-2 count. So 2 balls, 2 strikes coming to the designated hitter. Jackson Reeves trying to get out of this situation. And Mars trying to give the Braves the lead. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed for strike 3. And the inning is over. So the Braves scored no runs off no hits, I believe. And 2 were left on base. Coming up, that's the end of the first, brought to you by Augusta Health. Coming up next, top of the second, where the Braves will face off against Brody Dalton, Connor Spielman, and Jackson Walker, who are due up in the top of the second after this quick break. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia, where currently we are tied at 0-0. Up first for the Turks, we're going to have number 27, Brody Dalton. Dalton currently attending Kent State, and he watched strike 1. So the 0-1 pitch, that'll be sent right back up the middle, and that is a base hit. So the first hit for for the Turks comes off that Brody Dalton hit to straightaway center field, and that'll bring up DH Connor Spellman. Spellman, number 42, attending Jacksonville, and is currently batting .226 on the season. Also has a .351 on-base percentage. That first pitch in there for strike one. Spellman also has no homers and 8 RBIs. And he currently faces Chaparro with Dalton on over at first. So Chaparro took a quick glance on over and now delivers. The 0-1 pitch swung on. That'll be right into right field for a base hit. And everyone will just move up 90 feet. So back-to-back base hits. That'll bring up number 8, Jackson Walker. Jackson Walker currently attending Walter State Community College and is batting .291, a .391 on-base percentage, 3 homers, and 16 RBIs on the season. And the first pitch tried to bunt. And it hit him, so now bases are loaded with no outs here in the top of the second. With that, that brings up number 26.
Number 26, the
third baseman, Philip Garcia. Garcia currently attending St. John's River State and is batting .270 on the season, a .393 on-base percentage, no homers, and 10 RBIs. And he has a perfect RBI opportunity right now with bases loaded and no outs. So first pitch, inside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming on the way. Again, right now, Dalton on over at third, Spielman at second, and Walker at first. In there, strike one. So that gives us a 1-1 count with no outs here. Chaparro trying to keep this a tie game. And now we'll get set and delivers. 1-1 pitch. That'll be hit right back up the middle. Williams bobbled it. And a quick flip on over is out 1. But a run does score. And everyone else does move up 90 feet. So the Turks now hold a 1-0 lead. That'll bring up
number 13, second baseman, Trey Miranda.
It's a 4-3. Trey Miranda, currently batting .247, a .369 on-base percentage, no homers, and 15 RBIs. First pitch be hit right back up the middle, fielded by the shortstop, and that will be an error. So a second run comes across off that error. Miranda hit it hard to Lawson, couldn't quite field it. That will bring up Gary again, who did reach on walks. And we're going to have a quick pitching mound visit. Again, so far, Turks have gotten 2 hits this inning, have a hit by pitch. The one out is a ground to the second base that Williams was bobbled. And then we now have Trey Miranda, who reached on the air by Max Lawson. So some early fielding mistakes by the Braves here in the second, which is brought to you by CNF Mortgage. So the mound visit is over. Everyone's heading on back to position. And we have runners at the corners with 1 out. So a ground ball could get us out of it, but Bennett Gary is batting. Walked his last time up. Gary does have a .282 on-base percentage. Does have a homer and 18 RBIs as well. And Chaparro trying to get out of this inning. First pitch, inside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming on the way. Right now, Walker on over at third, Miranda at first. That'll be a ground ball, and that'll get by, base hit, and runners will be at first and second with 1 out.
That brings up the shortstop, number 33.
That will bring
Andy
up
Perez.
Andy Perez. Did reach on an error by Merrick on over at third last time. So right now 3 runs have come across. The only 1 has been earned. That pitch will be outside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count with 1 out here. Chaparro took a quick glance back. Now delivers 1-0 pitch. Swung on. That'll be fielded. Flips on over second for 1. On to first. In time. Double play. And the inning is over. So the Turks end up scoring 3 runs off 3 hits. 1 error was made. And 2 were left on base. Or 1 was left on base. Coming up next, bottom of the second, brought to you by CNF Mortgage. Braves will have Hasler, Williams, Merrick due up as they try to tie this game up or at least cut into it after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia. Here we are in the second inning, brought to you by CNF Mortgage. Leading off from JMU, number 33, first baseman Keegan Hasler. Hasler currently batting .295 on the season as he swings at the first pitch. That'll be fielded by Perez. Throws on over to first in time for out 1. So first pitch swinging, and Hasler grounds out to short. That'll bring up from Liberty, number 10, Caleb Williams. Williams currently batting .254, has a .430 on-base percentage, 4 homers, and 8 RBIs. And now the first pitch from Reeves will be swung on, hit right back up the middle, and it's a base hit. So 1 out, base hit to give the Braves their second hit of the night. That'll bring up number 29 from UAB, Jake Merrick. Merrick currently batting .313, .492 on base percentage, 2 homers, and 9 RBIs. As Reeves will deliver the first pitch in there for strike 1. So Merrick now faces an 0-1 count with 1 out here. Caleb Williams is currently on over at first. So Reeves will now get set and delivers the 0-1 pitch. They'll be swung on and hit foul for strike 2. So now the Braves' third baseman will face an 0-2 count here. Jackson Reeves trying to keep the Turks ahead by 3. Braves looking to get at least cut into it. As now Reeves will get set. And a quick pickoff move. No tag will be made. Williams is an aggressive base runner. Early on, he did steal second, third, and a home. First inning, another pickoff move. Not be in time. So we will continue an 0-2 count. Merrick waiting for the third pitch of his at-bat. Now Reeves will get set and delivers. Swung on. That is go straight into left center field, and it gets down. Williams will round second, heading on over to third. And he rounds third, heading on home. And the play will be made, and the Braves are on the board. With that double, it is now 3-1 in favor of the Turks. And Merrick has another RBI, and that brings up number 13 from Palm Beach Atlantic. Or no. Number 13 from Charleston, Drew Lucy. Lucy currently batting .238. So we do get a foul. So that gives us an 0-1 count to Lucy. Again, batting .238, has a .365 on-base percentage, no homers, and 4 RBIs. And the 0-1 pitch inside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-1 count with 1 out. Again, Jake Merrick on over at second after he gave an RBI double that brought Williams home from first. And now the 1-1 pitch. Reeves takes a glance back, now delivers. That's in the dirt. Ball 2. So that'll give us a 2-1 count with 1 out. Reeves will take another glance back. Merrick. Now the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. It is now a 2-2 count with 1 out. Again, Drew Lucy, catcher tonight for the Braves. Jackson Reeves will get set. Looks back. And now delivers. That swung on, going into right field. Base hit. Merrick will round third, heading on home. And Lucy will stay on over at first, and Merrick will jog on home for the second run. And now with a runner at first, it is a 1-run game. And Lucy has another RBI on the season. And that brings up the center fielder, Jose Vasquez. Number 16 is attending Arkansas Pine Bluff. Does have a .281 on-base percentage. And is currently 0 for 0 tonight. That swing on, that's sent straight away right field. And the catch will be made by Brody Dalton for outs number 2. So 2 outs, 1 runner on base. Does bring up Lawson. Lawson did single his last time up. It was ruled a single. So now he's looking for hit number 2. So Jackson Reeves will now deliver. That's outside, low, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming on the way. 2 outs. Again, Drew Lucy is on over at first. Braves looking to tie the game. Jackson Reeves now delivers the 1-0 pitch in there for strike 1. So we now have a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Again, Drew Lucy is on over at first. So Lucy does steal second. It is currently a 2-1 count with 2 outs. Reeves now delivers the 2-1 pitch. That'll be hit foul for strike 2. So we do have a 2-2 count coming to Max Lawson. Jackson Reeves glances back to Lucy, now delivers 2-2 pitch. Swung on, that is going into straightaway right field. Dalton will get under it and makes the play for outs number 3, and the inning is over. So Braves score 2 runs off 3 hits, no errors were made, and 1 was left on base. That's the end of the second inning, brought to you by CNF Mortgage. Coming up next, top of the third, where the Braves look to keep this a 1-run game, as Shapiro will face off against Gilliam's Fonte Dalton in the top of the third, which will happen after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia. Currently, the Harrisonburg Turks do lead it 3-2 here in the top of the third, which is brought to you by Brookdale Senior Living. Up first to bat is going to be Elijah Gilliams, grounded out to second his first time up, so he's currently 0 for 1 tonight. And the first pitch will be grounded into right field for a base hit. So first pitch swinging does give us a base hit, and that'll bring up Andrew Fonte. Again, he's 0 for 1 as well, grounded out to third his last time up. And will now face Shapiro with no outs and a runner in Gilliams on over at first. So again, Fonte 0 for 1. And first pitch, high inside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-0 count. Shapiro took a quick glance on over to Gilliams. And now delivers 1-0 pitch, swung on. That'll be grounded just past the diving third baseman, base hit. And now runners are on over at first and second with no outs. That'll bring up Brody Dalton. Dalton singled his last time up. Again, Dalton did single his last time up, so he's 1 for 1. Now faces Chaparro with runners on first and second and no outs. And the first pitch from Chaparro, outside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-0 count with no outs here. Dalton playing right field, had a couple catches in the bottom of the second. And now the 1-0 pitch, swung on, that'll be grounded, could be 2. Williams fields it, flips on over to second for 1, on to first. In time, double play. And just like that, 1 run is 90 feet away, but we now have 2 outs instead of none. And that brings up Connor Spellman. Spellman did single his last time up, so he's 1 for 1. And now Chaparro, after giving up a couple early base hits, is now 1 out away from ending this inning. First pitch, Bees flied, and that is off Lawson's glove, and a run will score off that base hit. So it is now 4-2.
Jackson Walker.
And that brings up Jackson Walker, hit by pitch his last time up. And he does face Chaparro with 2 outs and a runner on first. Runner on first is Spielman. And now pitch swung on. That'll be fly over the leaping second baseman for a base hit. And now Spielman will head on over to third. And we have runners at the corners with 2 outs.
That brings up number 26.
That'll bring up Philip Garcia. Garcia's 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded out to second his last time up. And it'll allow us a runners at the corner situation with 2 outs. Owen Chaparro trying to get out of the inning, just giving up the 1 run. And now he delivers a strike 1. So we now have an 0-1 pitch coming on the way, 2 outs. Again, runners on first and second or third and first. Spielman on over at third, Walker at first. Quick pickoff move, not in time, as Walker was able to get back. We do have an 0-1 count coming on the way to Garcia. And now the 0-1 pitch swung on. That'll be hit foul for strike 2. So we now have an 0-2 count with 2 outs here. Top of the third. Currently the Turks do lead it 4-2. Chaparro trying to just keep the 1 run coming across in this inning. Now Chaparro does take a quick step off. Again, on deck is Trey Miranda. And do actually have runner move on up 90 feet. That was Jackson Walker. So he's now on over at second with 2 outs. Owen Chaparro will now deliver the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. So the top of the third allows 1 run to come across on 4 hits. No errors were made, and 2 were left on base. Coming up next, bottom of the third, which is brought to you by Brooksdale Senior Living. Braves will look to try and tie the game, as they will have Melton Braga Mars due up in the home half of the third, which will happen after this quick break.
Leading off the
And
Braves,
welcome
Brody
back to
Melton.
Staunton, Virginia, where currently the Harrisonburg Turks do lead it 4-2 in the bottom of the third, brought to you by Brooksdale Senior Living. Up first is Brody Melton, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far, and he will watch ball one. So right now, Jackson Reeves is still on the mound for the Turks. The 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be hit foul. So that gives us a 1-1 count here. Again, top of the third. Melton trying to get on base. He does have a .348 on base percentage, is hitting .283. And that pitch will be hit foul straight back to give us a 1-2 count. So now Melton, a dangerous hitter, does lead the team in RBIs and homers. Faces a 1-2 count. Now the 1-2 pitch from Reeves swung on. That'll be hit foul. So we will redo the 1-2 pitch. So we now have a 1-2 pitch coming on the way to Brody Melton. And the 1-2 outside, ball two. So 2-2 pitch coming to the Milligan student athlete. The 2-2 pitch swung on. That is going into left center field. Base hit. And we have a leadoff single to start the bottom of the third.
Now batting left fielder number
That
5,
brings up Julian
Braga.
Braga. Braga flew out to left field his last time up, so he's currently 0 for 1 tonight. But he now faces Jackson Reeves with no outs and a runner on first in Brody Melton. Braga is another dangerous hitter, does have 6 homers on the year for second highest. That pitch misses, ball one. So we now have a 1-0 pitch coming on the way to the left fielder for the Braves. Jackson Reeves trying to keep this a 2-run game. And that pitch hit right back up the middle, and that is muffled by the shortstop Perez. But a quick flip on over will get out one. But that will mean that Braga does reach on the fielder's choice. And that brings up Cooper Mars, currently 0 for 1 with a strikeout tonight. He is the designated hitter. And he is also currently attending Denison. As Cooper Mars will get set to receive the 1-0 pitch, or that'll be grounded, and it will be fair. So Braga does advance 90 feet. So that gives us 2 outs, runner on second.
Now batting from JMU, the first baseman. Number 33,
That'll bring up Keegan Hasler, JMU attendee. And is currently 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded out to shortstop. And right now a base hit can make this a 1-run game. And the first pitch to Hasler in there for strike 1. So now Hasler faces an 0-1 count with 2 outs here. Julian Braga on over at second base. Jackson Reeves now delivers the 0-1 pitch outside, ball 1. So now we have a 1-1 count to the first baseman for the Braves, Keegan Hasler. And Jackson Reeves trying to get out of the inning without giving up a run. And now the 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed for strike 2. And now Hasler faces a 1-2 count as he tries to bring home Julian Braga. Now Reeves will get set, glances back and delivers the 1-2 pitch. That's inside, ball 2. So we now have a 2-2 count. Braga still on over at second. Gets his lead. Now Reevesville gets set, glances back, and delivers. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, and the inning is over. So Braves score no runs off.
Once again, I'd like to remind you to go
One
back.
hit, no errors, and one was left on base. That's the end of the third inning, brought to you by Brookside Senior Living, or Brooksdale Senior Living. Coming up next, top of the fourth, where the Braves will face off against Miranda Gary Perez, and they look to keep this a 2-run game,
And register.
which will happen after this break, the top of the fourth. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia, currently the Harrisonburg Turks lead it 4-2 here in the top of the fourth, which is brought to you by Augusta Health. Trey Miranda will lead us off. He reached on an error on the shortstop last time up. And right now he faces Owen Shapiro, who's making his third inning of work. First pitch from Shapiro in the fourth. In there, strike 1. So now Miranda faces an 0-1 count with no outs here. Top of the fourth. And now Shapiro, 0-1 pitch on the way. That's hit foul for strike 2. And now Shapiro is 1 strike away from getting the first out. And his second strikeout. Shapiro will now get set and delivers the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, that is fouled straight back. So we'll redo the 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes. Everything is at Shapiro's disposal. Again, Trey Miranda currently 0 for 0 since he reached on the air. The 0-2 pitch outside, ball 1. So now we have a 1-2 count to the Turks' second baseman. And now Shapiro delivers the 1-2 pitch. That's outside, ball 2. Tried to paint the outside corner, and it just missed. And now Shapiro will get set and delivers. 2-2 pitch on the way, outside, ball 3. So now we have a full count pitch after Shapiro got ahead 0-2. Miranda will now get set. Shapiro gets the call and delivers. Payoff pitch on the way. Swung on. That is going to get hit fly. Lawson calls for it and will make the catch for outs number 1. So that will turn the lineup over to bring up Bennett Gary.
18, Bennett Gary.
Gary currently 1 for 1, singled his last time up. Also has a walk on the night, making his third at bat. And now that will be outside for ball one. Again, Gary led us off with a walk in the top of the first to start the game. And now the 1-0 pitch outside, ball two. So we now have a 2-0 count coming on the way with one out here. No runners on base. Shapiro will now deliver. 2-0 pitch on the way outside, ball three. So now we have 3 balls, no strikes, and 1 out. Shapiro now gets set and delivers. 3-0 pitch in there, strike one. So now we have a 3-1 count coming on the way. Shapiro trying to get back into this at bat. And the 3-1 pitch on the way outside, ball four, and Gary walks for the second time tonight. So with that, that brings up shortstop Andy Perez. Perez currently 0 for 1. Did reach on an error his first at bat, hit into a double play his last time. And now Shapiro could be one pitch away from ending this inning with a ground ball and another double play. The first pitch swung on. That'll be sent flying into straightaway right field. Melton will backpedal and make the catch for out number 2. So that works just as well. One pitch fly out to right field. That brings up Elijah Gilliams. Gilliams currently 1 for 2. Singled his last time up, but also has a ground out. And he faces Shapiro for the third time tonight. Shapiro glances on over and now delivers. That was hit going into right field all the way back, and Melton can't quite get it. And now runner rounds third, heading on over to home. And throw ends up being high. Quick throw back on over to second. Not in time. So we do get a double, RBI double, to make it 5-2 here in the fourth. After that, RBI double from Gilliams. That brought Gary home from first. That'll bring up Andrew Fonte. Singled his last time up. He's currently 1 for 2. So now, just about getting ready. And the first pitch to Fonte is outside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming on the way with 2 outs here. And Fonte swings and misses for strike 1. So that gives us a 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Top of the fourth right now. Turks do lead it 5-2. And now Shapiro delivers. That's sent softly over the second baseman, base hit. And now Gilliams rounds second, heading on over to home, and will score easily to make it 6-2. So Fonte gets the RBI single. That'll bring up Brody Dalton. Dalton hit into a double play his last time up, so he's 1 for 2 tonight. But we do have a quick visit coming on. Looks like it's just going to be the infield. Right now, discussing it. Probably mainly just trying to calm down Shapiro. So he's currently given up 6 runs. And again, we do have
now batting number 27.
Number 27, Brody Dalton. Right now, Brody Dalton is up at bat, 1 for 2 tonight, is attending Kent State. And first pitch to Dalton, that'll be fouled straight back for strike 1. So we now have an 0-1 count with 2 outs here. Top of the 4th, Shapiro trying to get out of the inning. Now the 0-1 pitch, that'll be hit ground for strike 2. So we now have no balls, 2 strikes coming with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Shapiro trying to get out of the inning and is currently 1 strike away from doing so. The 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on, that'll be grounded. And Hasler can't quite field it. That'll be a base hit, and a runner will reach third. So that gives us runners at the corners, 2 outs.
Now batting, Connor Spellman.
That'll bring up Connor Spellman. Spellman currently 2 for 2 tonight, a couple base hits. And now the first pitch in there for strike 1. So that gives us an 0-1 count coming on the way. Runners at the corner. And the 0-1, that is a fly ball heading still in the infield. Hasler will make the catch for out number 3. And the inning is over. So the Braves do, or the Turks do score 1 run, or 2 runs off 3 hits, no errors, and 1 was left on base. Coming up next, the bottom of the 4th, presented by Augusta Health. Braves look to try and claw back into it, as they will have Williams Merrick Lucy due up in the home half of the 4th, which will come up after this break. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia. Currently, the Harrisonburg Turks do lead it 6-2 here in the bottom of the 4th. Brought to you by Augusta Health. Due up first, number 10, Caleb Williams. Williams currently 1 for 1 tonight. Does have a single so far and did come around to score to give the Braves their first run. And the pitch in there for strike 1. So now we have an 0-1 count coming on the way. And now the 0-1 pitch outside, ball 1 to Williams. Second baseman for the Braves. He now has a 1-1 count. And the 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed for strike 2. So that gives us a 1-2 count coming on the way. Braves trying to get back into it, currently down by 4. And now the 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be hit foul. So we'll redo the 1-2 count. Right now, Reeves still on the mound, making his 4th inning of work. Currently has gone through 3. And the 1-2 pitch swung on. That'll be grounded. And that's fielded by the shortstop. Perez throws on over to first in time for out number 1. So Williams does end up grounding out. That brings up Jake Merrick. Merrick currently has a double, so he's 1 for 1 tonight. And now he will face Reeves with 1 out and no one on base. First pitch to Merrick, swung on. That'll be hit fly. And it will land foul for strike 1. So we now have an 0-1 count coming to the Braves' third baseman, Merrick, with 1 out. And Merrick currently facing an 0-1 count. Again, so far, he does have a double so far. So now we will get set for the 0-1 count coming on the way. Reeves will get set and now delivers. The 0-1 pitch, that's low away, ball 1. So we now have a 1-1 count with 1 out here. No one is on base. And now the 1-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. So we now have a 1-2 count with 1 out here. Jackson Reeves will now get set and delivers. The 1-2 pitch. That's low, ball 2. So now Merrick faces a 1-2 or 2-2 count with 1 out here. Jackson Reeves trying to keep this a 4-run game. Merrick trying to get on base, extend the game, or extend the inning a little bit. That ends up missing inside, ball 3. And now we have a full count pitch coming on the way to Jake Merrick. Again, 1 for 1 tonight so far, making his 2nd appearance. And the payoff pitch swung on. That'll be hit foul. And so we will do a 2nd payoff pitch. So Reeves will now get set, or will get set for the 2nd payoff pitch to Merrick. Now Reeves delivers. Payoff pitch on the way in, ball 4. And now 1 out walk. And that'll bring up Drew Lucy. Does have an RBI as well.
Now batting, Drew Lucy.
Drew Lucy singled his last time up. But did bring home Merrick to give the Braves their 2nd run of the game. And now he will face Reeves with 1 out, and Jake Merrick is now on over at first. And the first pitch, that'll be out, ball 1. Merrick will easily advance on over to 2nd. And now Lucy faces a very similar situation to what he was in last time. And that is 1 out and a runner on over at 2nd. Now Reeves will get set, glances back to Merrick, and delivers. 1-0 pitch, swung on. That'll be hit foul for strike 1. So we now have a 1-1 pitch coming on the way with 1 out. Jake Merrick on over at 2nd. So now Reeves gets set, glances back to Merrick, and delivers. 1-1 pitch, swung on. That'll be hit right back up the middle, fielded by Perez. Flips on over to first in time for out number 2. So that will turn the lineup over. That'll bring up Jose Vasquez, currently 0 for 1 tonight. Walked his first time up and then flew out to right field his last time. And now he will face Reeves with 2 outs and Jake Merrick on over at third. And now the pitch. That'll be outside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming on the way with 2 outs here. And the 1-0 pitch to Vasquez swung on. That'll be sent straight away into right center field. And Merrick will easily score from third. So now Vasquez able to give the Braves a 3rd run on the night. That'll bring up Max Lawson. Lawson flew out to right field his last time up. Currently 1 for 2 tonight. And is trying to extend this inning some more to help Braves claw back in as they are now down by 3. So Reeves took a quick glance on over to Vasquez at first. And will now deliver. Vasquez on the move. Ball call. Throw on over. In time. And Vasquez is out stealing. So Braves score 1 run off 1 hit. No errors were made and no one was left on base. That is the end of the 4th inning, which was brought to you by Augusta Health. Coming up next, the top of the 5th. Braves look to keep this just a 3-run game as they will face Walker Garcia Miranda after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia. Here we are, top of the 5th, brought to you by CNF Mortgage. Due up first for the Turks, Jackson Walker, currently 1 for 1. Singled his last time up, does have a hit by pitch as well. Shapiro making his 5th inning of work, trying to keep this just a 3-run game. First pitch in there for strike 1. And now we have an 0-1 count coming on the way. And the 0-1 pitch outside, ball 1. Shapiro going a little quick right now. Now he slows it a little bit, gets set and delivers. 1-1 pitch on the way outside, ball 2. That gives us a 2-1 count. Coming with no one on base. And the 2-1 pitch swung on. That'll be sent going into left field. And the catch is made for out 1. What a play by Julian Braga in left field to get the diving stop at the foul line. And that is out 1.
Now batting number 26. Philip Garcia.
That'll bring up Philip Garcia 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out swinging his last time up. And now Chaparral 2 outs away from getting out of this 5th inning. And the first pitch swung. Did not go, so it'll be ball 1. So that now gives us a 1-0 count with 1 out. The 1-0 pitch on the way. That misses ball 2. So we now have a 2-0 count coming on the way with 1 out here. And the top of the 5th. Owen Chaparral trying to get the call. Gets one he likes. Now we'll go ahead and deliver. 2-0 pitch. That'll hit Garcia. So that'll bring up Trey Miranda. Currently 0 for 1. Flew out to the shortstop last time up. Does have a reach on an error as well. Trey Miranda currently the number 9 hitter for the Turks. And now the first pitch outside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 pitch coming on the way to Miranda with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Chaparral glances on over. Now delivers the 1-0 pitch in low, ball 2. So that gives us a 2-0 count with 1 out here. Again, runner on over in first in Philip Garcia, who is hit by a pitch. And now Chaparral, 2-0 pitch, below ball 3. So that gives us a 3-0 count now to Trey Miranda. And now Chaparral will get set, delivers 3-0 pitch in there for strike 1. So we now have a 3-1 count with 1 out here. Top of the 5th, Chaparral. Currently a ground ball away from potentially ending this half of the inning. That'll be high, ball 4. So now we get runners at first and second with 1 out. And that turns the lineup over.
Now batting, number 18, Bennett Gary.
That'll bring up Bennett Gary, but right now we do have a mound visit coming from the Braves side. We'll see if this is potentially the end of Chaparral's night. Currently, looks like there is a pitcher warming up in the Braves bullpen. Again, right now, we're at top of the 5th. Turks do lead it 6-3. And now the mound visit is over. So Chaparral will stay out there. Again, so far, giving up 6 runs so far through 4 1/3 of an inning. Currently does have Philip Garcia on over at second and Trey Miranda at first. Right now, Bennett Gary is up to bat, 1 for 1. Does have a couple walks as well as a single tonight. Now Chaparral will step off. So now we will get set. Chaparral will deliver. First pitch, swung on. That'll be into right field, base hit. And that'll bring Garcia around third, heading on over to home. And it's a 1-out double. So we now have runners on over at second and third. And it is now 7-3 in favor of the Turks. And now it looks like that'll be the end of Chaparral. So coming up after this quick break, the new pitcher for the Braves. I'll tell you who it is and a little about him after this break in the fifth, which is brought to you by CNF Mortgage. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia. The new pitcher on the mound, number 47, Dylan Rasko. Rasko making his 10th appearance. Currently has gone 20.1 innings and has a 4.87 ERA. Rasko is currently attending Arcadia. And the first batter he will face is Andy Perez, who will swing and miss for strike one. So, Rasko does inherit runners over on second and third. Miranda on over at third. Gary on over at second. The 0-1 pitch outside, ball one. Great job there by Lucy laying out. Make sure it didn't get behind to the backstop. That did save a run, so we now have a 1-1 count. Rasko will now deliver the 1-1 pitch. That's inside, ball two. So that gives us a 2-1 count to Perez. Again, Chaparro only ended up going 4 1/3 of an inning. That's in the dirt for ball three. So that gives us a 3-1 count with one out here, top of the fifth. Right now, Rasko trying to keep this just a 4-run game. And the 3-1 pitch, ball four, so now bases will be loaded with one out. And that will bring up Elijah Gilliams.
Now batting number 50, Elijah Gilliam.
Gilliams currently 2 for 3 tonight. Doubled his last time up. Also has a single and a ground out. And he will face Roscoe for the first time tonight. And the pitch. That's in the dirt. Ball 1. So now it looks like we're going to get another mound visit here real quick. So just looked like a quick word was spoken. Now we'll get back set. Dylan Roscoe again trying to get out of this inning. Currently has bases loaded with 1 out. And is facing off against Gilliams. And the 1-0 pitch. That's low and away. Ball 2. So that gives us a 2-0 count coming on the way with 1 out. Or 2-0 count with 1 out. Again, runners on every base. Roscoe will now deliver a 2-0 pitch. That misses ball 3. So right now, Miranda on over at third. Gary on over at second. Perez at first. And now Roscoe trying to avoid the 4-pitch walk. And Roscoe delivers. That'll hit. And that will rock home a run. So with 1 out, it is now 8-3. Dylan Roscoe currently did walk home a run after that hit by pitch. Now Lucy's heading on out. Talking to Roscoe. Again with that walk, that brought Miranda home. That now gives us Gary at third. Perez at second, and Gilliam's on over at first. So it actually looks like they're going to check out Gilliam's. Make sure he's all right after that hit by pitch. And now he'll head on over to first. Seems all right, which is always good news. Again, that brings up number 29, Andrew Fonte. Fonte currently 2 for 3. Couple singles and a ground out tonight. And right now, ground ball could potentially get us out of this inning. Roscoe now delivers. That's going to be low, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-0 count. So we currently have 1 ball, no strikes. Roscoe trying to get out of this inning. The 1-0 pitch on the way outside, ball 2. So a 2-0 pitch coming on the way with 1 out here. Top of the 5th. Bases loaded, 1 out. The 2-0 pitch on the way. In there, strike 1. So that gives us a 2-1 count with 1 out here. In the top of the 5th. Roscoe now delivers 2-1 pitch, swung on. That'll be grounded past the third baseman. 1 run will score. There was another one coming on home. Gilliams will head on over to third. And we have a 1-out double. So a 1 out, 2 RBI double, making it 10-3. Brings up Brody Dalton. Dalton currently 2 for 3 tonight. Couple base hits and did hit into a double play. It is going to be tough for him to hit into a double play with this at bat. So Roscoe trying to get out of the inning, and the pitch swung on and missed, strike one. So that gives us an 0-1 count coming to Dalton. Again, right now, no errors have been made, but they have walked a few so far this inning. The 0-1 pitch on the way, swung on, that'll go foul to give us an 0-2 count. With 1 out here, top of the 5th. Shapiro currently has gone 1/3 of this inning, then came in Roscoe, trying to get the final 2 outs. And now the 0-2 pitch, that's outside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-2 pitch with 1 out here. Again, runners on second and third. Gilliam's on over at third. Fonte at second. And now that pitch hit right back up the middle. And Roscoe fields it, flips on over in time for outs number 2. Great work there by Roscoe. Quickly made sure that Gilliams was going to stay. Then threw on over to first to get the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Connor Spellman. Spellman currently 2 for 3. Flew out his last time up. And right now the Braves could use a fly out, as it is currently 10-3. That ball is going to be outside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 pitch coming on the way with 2 outs. Roscoe currently 1 out away from getting out of this inning, where currently 3 runs have come across. 1 walked in, another driven home, as that's in there, strike 1. So that gives us a 1-1 count with 2 outs here, top of the 5th. And now Dylan Roscoe delivers 1-1 pitch, swung on, that'll be hit foul, and that'll give us a 1-2 count. And now Roscoe's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Right now it is currently a 1-2 count with 2 outs. 3 runs have come across, 1 walk followed by 2 RBI double. And that pitch is inside, ball 2. And now we have a 2-2 count with 2 outs here, top of the 5th. Dylan Roscoe, 1 strike away. And the 2-2 pitch swung on. That'll be grounded over Merrick's head, and that will score 1 run. And now Perez will head on over to home, and that gets all the way to the back step. And we have now a runner at second with another 2 runs coming across. So Spillman ends up getting a single and got a double on the throw.
Now batting, Jackson Walker.
That'll bring up Jackson Walker. Currently 1 for 2 tonight. Has a fly out his last time up as well as a single. And was also hit by a pitch. And right now, Braves just trying to end this inning, is currently now 5 runs have come across. And now the first pitch is outside, ball 1. That now gives us a 1-0 count. With 2 outs here, Roscoe glances back and now delivers the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 1. And now we have a 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Runner on over at second in Spielman. Now Roscoe glances, delivers 1-1 pitch. That'll dip in the dirt. Spielman will advance 90 feet. It ended up going out of play. So that gives us a 2-1 count with 2 outs here. Now Spielman is on over at third. Jackson Walker trying to make it 10 runs, or a 10-run advantage. Roscoe trying to just get out of this inning. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. That'll be hit foul straight back for strike 2. So that gives us a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Again, runner on third in Spielman. As Dylan Roscoe will get set and delivers. That's swung on. That'll be a fly ball. And it looks like Lawson will be camped under it for out number 3. And the inning is over. So the Turks score 5 runs off 3 hits. 1 error was made, and 1 was left on base. Coming up next, the Braves look to try and claw into this lead as they have Lawson, Melton, and Braga due up in the bottom of the 5th, which is brought to you by CNF Mortgage. Coming up after the break, the Braves look to bounce back.
The winners.
And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia. Currently here in the bottom of the 5th, brought to you by CNF Mortgage. We are going to have Max Lawson lead off since Vasquez was caught stealing. It'll allow now Lawson to have his 3rd appearance. He's currently 1 for 2 tonight. First pitch in there for strike 1. So right now, again, Jackson Reeves is pitching still, making his 5th inning of work. And that pitch is outside, ball 1. Right now, Lawson faces a 1-1 count here. The score is currently 12-3 in favor of the Turks. Braves trying to cut into the lead a little bit. And now the 1-1 pitch inside for ball 2. Lawson sort of having to slide out of the way. And now it lets us do a 2-1 count. Here, again, bottom of the 5th. Score 12-3 in favor of the Harrisonburg Turks. 2-1 pitch, that'll be hit foul, so we'll do a 2-2 count now. So we have a 2-ball, 2-strike count to the Braves shortstop, who's currently 1 for 2 tonight. And now Jackson Reeves will deliver. 2-2 pitch on the way inside, ball 3. And that gives us a full count pitch. So Lawson set to receive the full count pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs here, bottom of the 5th. Now Jackson Reeves will get set and delivers. Payoff pitch, swung on, that'll be hit foul, so we'll redo it. So far, Lawson, again, 1 for 2 tonight. The main story so far of this game has been sort of the Braves fielding hasn't been up to snuff for the most part. I have a few errors, a couple easy plays that have been messed up, and now the full count pitch misses ball 4, and Lawson will take first.
Now batting number 18,
So that'll bring up Brody Melton. Melton currently 1 for 2 tonight. Singled his last time up. Also has a strikeout tonight as well. This time he will face Reeves with no outs. And Max Lawson on over at first. So now Jackson Reeves pickoff move. Lawson will get back in time. Right now, Brody Melton just mainly trying to get on base. Braves need some runners. Try to get into this lead 9-run deficit. That'll be ball 1. It does get into the dirt. Fonte staying with it, though, not allowing Lawson to advance the 90 feet. Quick glance on over to first by Reeves. And now delivers 1-0 pitch in there for strike 1. So that gives us a 1-1 count with no outs here. Max Lawson on over at first. Brody Melton at bat. And now pickoff moves. Lawson will get back easily. So now Jackson Reeves will get set again to throw the 1-1 pitch. And now Reeves delivered. Lawson on the move. Ball called. Throw on over to first. And that is out 1. Lawson gets caught stealing. So we now have a 1-1 count with 1 out here. Bottom of the 5th. Lawson just got caught stealing. Brody Melton now set to receive the 1-1 pitch. That swung on and missed for strike 2. So we now have a 1-2 count coming on the way. Or no, 2-2 count, my bad. With 1 out. And now Jackson Reeves will get the call. Now gets set and delivers. 2-2 pitch, swung on, that'll be hit foul. So we will redo the 2-2 count. So we currently have 2 balls, 2 strikes to the right fielder for the Braves, Brody Melton, who is currently 1 for 2 tonight. And right now, Braves just need base runners before they can even think about really getting back into this. That'll be hit hard, going back deep into right field. And the play is made at the wall for out number 2. That was a very loud out number 2. Ended up going all the way back to warning track, I want to say. And that brings up Julian Braga. Braga currently 0 for 2 tonight. Did reach on a fielder's choice, though. And now the first pitch to Braga is outside, ball 1. So we have a 1 ball, no strike pitch coming to the left fielder, Braga, with 2 outs here. In the home half of the 5th, the 1-0 pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. And now we have Braga with a 1-1 count, bottom of the 5th. Again, Braves currently down by 9. And now Reeves delivers. The 1-1 pitch, swung on, that'll be grounded. Fielded by the first baseman, Gilliams, and takes it to the bag himself for out number 3. And the inning is over. So Braves scored no runs off no hits, no errors were made, and no one was left on base. Coming up, that's the end of the 5th inning, brought to you by CNF Mortgage. Coming up next, the top of the 6th. Braves look to keep this just a 9-run game as they will face Garcia, Miranda, Gary in the top of the 6th, which is after this break. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia. Currently the Turks lead here in the top of the 6th, 12-3. New pitcher number 21 for the Braves, Trey Gouch. Gouch currently making his 14th appearance, has gone 12.2 innings and has a 4.97 ERA. And the first pitch from Gouch is inside, ball 1.
Trey Gouch.
So Gouch throws a first pitch walk. Also is currently attending Randolph Mason. And that pitch will be hit ground, fielded by Williams. And throw on over to Hasler at first in time for out number 1. So Rasco ends up going 2/3 of an inning. Managed to get out of that long 5th. And now Gouch is trying to get out of the 6th. That brings up Trey Miranda. Miranda currently 0 for 2. And Gouch delivers first pitch in there. Strike 1. We now have an 0-1 count coming on the way with 1 out. Trey Gouch will get set and delivers the 0-1 pitch outside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-1 pitch with 1 out. Again, Trey Miranda is currently up to bat. Walked his last time up. And now Gouch trying to just get out of this inning in order. That pitch will be inside, ball 2. So that gives us a 2-1 count with 1 out here. Top of the 6th. Trey Gouch will now get set and delivers the 2-1 pitch outside, ball 3. 6th inning, though, brought to you by Brookdale Senior Living. And right now, Gouch trying to just put the batters down in order. And the 3-1 pitch on the way outside, ball 4, and Miranda is walked for the second time tonight. That'll bring up the number 1 hitter tonight, leadoff man, Bennett Gary. Gary currently 2 for 2, has a couple walks, a single, and a double. And now Trey Gouch could be a ground ball away from getting out of this inning, as Gouch will now deliver. First pitch in there, strike 1. That gives us an 0-1 count. Again, it is currently a 9-run game here, top of the 6th. The Turks lead it 12-3. And there's a quick pickoff move. Miranda slides back in time. And now Gouch will get set for the 0-1 count. Takes a quick glance on over. And now Gouch will deliver the 0-1 pitch. That misses outside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-1 count with 1 out here. Again, it's still top of the 6th. Ground ball could get us out of this inning. And the 1-1 pitch outside, ball 2. So now we have a 2-1 count with 1 out here. Again, it's the top of the 6th. Trey Miranda is currently on over at first. 2-1 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be going into right center field, and Vasquez will make the catch. Or no, can't make the catch. And throw not in time, so now we get runners at second and third with 1 out.
Now batting, number 33, Andy Perez.
In. Looked like that was an error on Vasquez. That brings up Andy Perez. Oh, never mind. Sean Goldie is actually on over in center field. So again, that error goes on Goldie, who took over for Vasquez. And now the pitch. That's going to be ball 1 to Perez. Again, right now, Perez 0 for 3. Or 0 for 2, I mean. Does have an error. Or did reach on an error his first time up. We do get a quick word between Lucy and Gouch. And right now, Trey Miranda is on over at third, and Gary is at second. 1-0 pitch coming on the way to Perez. That's in there, strike 1. So we now have a 1-1 count coming on the way with 1 out. Again, Gouch trying to just keep this a 9-run game. And the 1-1 pitch in there, strike 2. And now we have the 1-2 pitch coming on the way to Perez. Again, Perez looking for his first hit tonight, making his 4th at bat. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. That's going to be outside, ball 2. So we have a 2-2 pitch coming on the way. Trey Gouch will get set and delivers. 2-2 pitch swung on. That'll be fielded, flips on over to Drew Lucy at first, or at home, and that is out number 2. So they do end up giving up the run over to give us runners at the corner, but no run does come across.
Now batting number 50, Elijah.
So that'll bring up Elijah Gilliams. Gilliams currently 2 for 3. Has a single, a double, hit by pitch his last time up. And now he will face Trey Gouch with runners at the corners. Great play there by the shortstop. That will be grounded, fielded by Williams. Throws on over to first in time for outs number 3, and the inning is over. So the Turks score no runs off, no hits. 1 error was made, and 2 were left on base. Coming up next, the home half of the 6th, which is brought to you by Brookdale Senior Living. The Braves look to try and cut into this 9-run deficit with Mars Hasler Williams due up in the bottom of the 6th, which is happening after this break. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia. Currently, the Harrisonburg Turks are leading it by 9, 12-3 here in the home half of the 6th. Brought to you by Brookdale Senior Living. New pitcher on the mound, number 30, Jeremiah Pachota, is currently undecided where he's going to go. And now Pachota will deliver the first pitch, and that will be ball 1. First batter he will face Cooper Mars. And the 1-0 pitch, that's going to be ball 2. So we now have a 2-0 pitch coming to 38, Cooper Mars. Mars currently 0 for 2 tonight, strikeout and a ground out. So we now have 3 balls. And Mars trying to force the 4-pitch walk. And 3-0 pitch on the way. That's called strike 1. So managed to avoid the 4-pitch walk, ended up making it a 5-pitch walk instead. So that means Mars walks, reaches on base. That'll bring up
Braden Tchaikovsky.
Braden Tchaikovsky will come in, replaces Keegan Hasler. So right now, Tchaikovsky trying to just get on base. First pitch will be outside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 pitch coming on the way to Tchaikovsky. Pitch hitter for Haisler. And that gets called strike 1. So now Tchaikovsky faces a 1-1 count with no outs here. Currently Cooper Mars on over at first. And it's currently a 9-run deficit the Braves are trying to claw back from. That swung on and missed for strike 2. So now Tchaikovsky faces a 1-2 count. And the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. And that is the first out in the home half of the 6th. So with that, that brings up
Now batting
number 11, Josh Hall. He replaces Caleb Williams. So the first pitch to Hall will be in there for strike 1. Hall now has facing an 0-1 count. 1 out. Currently Cooper Mars still on over at first. And the 0-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. We now have an 0-2 pitch coming on the way to Josh Hall. Again, who replaced Caleb Williams. Right now, Braves just trying to get runners on base. The 0-2 pitch, that's going to be low, ball 1. So we now have a 1-2 count with 1 out here. And the home half of the 6th. Braves just trying to cut into this lead a little bit. 1-2 pitch, swung on. That'll be hit high going into straightaway center field. Heading back is the center fielder who will make the catch. That was Jackson Walker. And that is out number 2, forcing Cooper Mars to retreat back. It'll bring up 29, Jake Merrick. Merrick currently 1 for 1. Walked his last time up. Also has a double. And right now, a double could potentially give us another run to make it 4-12. But right now, Merrick just mainly trying to get on base and advance the runner as far as he can. And the first pitch, that's going to be outside, ball 1. So again, Merrick 1 for 1 so far tonight. Did walk his last time up. And now faces a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. That'll be in there for strike 1. So we have a 1-1 count coming on the way. Again, Pichota is pitching for the Turks. And the 1-1 pitch from Pichota, that will be just outside for ball 2. So right now, Jake Merrick does have a 2-1 count with 2 outs here. So Pichota will now get set and delivers the 2-1 pitch. That'll be in there for strike 2. So that gives us a 2-2 count with 2 outs here. Home half of the 6th. So far, Braves have only scored 3 runs compared to the Turks' 12. That will be low, ball 3. And now Merrick has forced a full count pitch. So the third baseman for the Braves now faces a full count pitch. Pichota trying to avoid a second walk of the inning. Pichota will now get set and delivers. Full count pitch on the way, pitch or batter on the move, and it swung on and missed for strike 3, and the inning is over.
Take a look down the left field.
So that will end the 6th inning, which was brought to you by Brookdale Senior Living. Coming up next, the top of the 7th, where the Turks look to get the 10-run deficit needed, and they will have Fonte, Dalton, Spielman due up in the top of the 7th, which is after this break. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia. Currently, the Turks do lead it 12-3 here in the home, heading into the top of the 7th inning, which is brought to you by Augusta Health. Trey Campos is the new pitcher, making his 12th appearance. Has gone 15.2 innings and has an 8.62 ERA. And the first pitch is in there for strike one. So we now have an 0-1 count coming on the way here. First batter is Andrew Fonte. So far, Fonte is 3 for 4, has a double and 2 singles as well as a ground out. And right now, Braves just trying to put them down, the Turks down in order. And the 0-1 pitch will be outside for ball one. Now have a 1-1 count coming on the way. Trey Campos, again making his appearance tonight. Facing his first batter, that's inside, ball two. Now gives us a 2-1 count. Right now, pitching and fielding have struggled for the Braves. That has been the biggest story tonight. And the 2-1 pitch, that'll be a ground ball. That's fielded by Merrick over at third. Throw on over to Tchaikovsky in time for out number 1. So great play there by Merrick.
Now batting, Brody Dalton.
Bring up Brody Dalton. Dalton currently 2 for 4 tonight. Campos will get set for the first pitch, and the first pitch will be hit foul. So we now have an 0-1 count coming. Again, Tchaikovsky is on over at first. Sean Goldie is over in center field. And then we have also Josh Hall at second, I believe. Right now we have an 0-1 pitch coming to Dalton. Currently batting .500 tonight. And Trey Campos trying to just get out of this inning. And the 0-1 pitch. That'll be outside, ball one. So now we have a 1-1 count coming on the way. One out here. Again, Turks are currently one score away from getting that 10 run. And that's going to miss ball two. So we now have a 2-1 count coming on the way. And the 2-1 pitch, that's be outside, ball three. So we now have a 3-1 count. And now Campos will get set and delivers. 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed, strike two. And just like that, Campos now has a full count pitch coming to Brody Dalton. And the full count pitch swung on. That'll go heading into left field. And we have a foul. So great hit there by Dalton. Just could not quite keep it in fair territory. So that did have extra bases written all over it. So now we'll come back for the second payoff pitch. Again, right now, Dalton, 2 for 2. Couple singles so far tonight. And the payoff pitch swung on. That one will go heading into straightaway left field, and it will land, and it'll go all the way back to the wall. Dalton will face and head on over to second with a stand-up, one-out double. So with that, that'll bring up Connor Spielman. Spielman currently 3 for 4 tonight. Singled his last time. Did reach second, though, on the throw.
Now batting, Connor Spillman.
And right now, the 10-run advantage is for the Turks is on over at second base. And Trey Campos will now deliver the first pitch to Spielman. And that's in there, strike one. So we now have an 0-1 count with one out here in the top of the seventh. And the 0-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike two. So we now have the 0-2 pitch coming on the way. Campos trying to get his first strikeout of the night. And the 0-2 pitch, that'll be a ground ball fielded by the shortstop Lawson. Throws on over to first in time for out number 2. Runner does advance 90 feet. That's going to bring up number 15. He will replace Jackson Walker.
Now pinch hitting number 15, Ben Garber.
It'll be Bryn Garber from Lafayette College. And the first pitch he will take is a ball. So Walker, night's over. That'll bring up 15 Garber. And now the 1-0 pitch to Garber. That'll be hit going into foul territory. Tchaikovsky can't make the play, lands in the bleachers, and that'll give us a 1-1 count. Tchaikovsky and Campos both were heading on over. Neither one could get it. Ended up hitting the bleachers. And now we will do a 1-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. So Campos will now get set And the 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be sloughed. Bounces, fielded by the second baseman. Throws on over to Tchaikovsky at first. 4 outs, number 3, and the inning is over. So, Braves do at least go to 8 as the Turks score no runs off 1 hit. No errors were made, and 1 was left on base. Coming up next, the bottom of the 7th, brought to you by Augusta Health. Braves look to cut into this lead just a little bit, as we will have Lucy Goldie Lawson due up to bat in the bottom of the 7th, which is due up after this break. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia. Currently, the Turks do lead it 12-3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Due up first. Looks like might be a new hitter. First pitch, that'll be grounded, 46, and that will go foul.
Batting for the Braves is
Cole Sofji. Again, takes over for Drew Lucy. He now has an 0-1 count here in the bottom of the 7th. And the 0-1 pitch swung on. That will be hit going foul. So now Soft G faces an 0-2 pitch. Yeah, right now, Soft G in an 0-2 pitch did take over for Drew Lucy. Cole Soft G currently attending St. John's. And now the 0-2 pitch to Soft G. That's inside, ball 1. So we have a 1-2 pitch coming on the way with no outs. And the 1-2 pitch swung on. That'll be strike 3, and Soft G is out on strike swinging. So with that, that brings up Sean Goldie.
Now batting number 31.
Number
Sean
31.
Goldie.
Again, Sean Goldie will set to receive his first pitch. That'll be in the dirt for ball 1. Soft G currently attending West Virginia. Now has a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. That'll be outside, ball 2. So we now have a 2-0 pitch. 2-0 pitch coming to Soft G. And that is in there for strike 1. So 2-1 pitch again, still on the mound, number 30 for the Turks. And that pitch will be swung on and missed for strike 2. And now Goldie faces a 2-2 count with 1 out here. Home half of the 7th. Braves down to their finals 8 outs. That pitch will be hit straight back and will redo the 2-2 count. So we have a 2-ball, 2-strike count here. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. And that'll be inside ball 3. So that gives us a 3-2 count here with 1 out. And the payoff pitch coming to Goldie. Swung on, that is going into left center field. And the catch is made. So Goldie will fly out to left field. That'll bring up
batting from VMI, number 14, Easton Ogle.
Easton Ogle takes over at shortstop. Ogle does attend VMI. That pitch will be low, ball 1. So we now have 1-0 count coming to Ogle. And the 1-0 pitch coming on the way. Swung on, that'll be a hit going into the gap, and there's a base hit. Ogle will reach first with 2 outs. And with that, that'll bring up Brody Melton. Melton currently 1 for 3 tonight. And will now face number 30, Pachota, with 2 outs and a runner on over at first. It's Pachota will now get set and delivers. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Did get away from Fonte for a little bit, but not enough to allow Ogle to move. And the 1-0 pitch swung on. That is going to get hit foul for strike 1. And that gives us a 1-1 count with 1 out here. Now Perota will get set to deliver the 1-1 pitch to Melton. Runner on the move. Strike call, throw on over. That'll go into center field. Ogle will head on over to third. And just like that, runner now at third with 2 outs. But Melton is down to a 1-2 count. So he's 1 strike away from ending this bottom of the 7th. So 1-2 pitch coming on the way from Perota. And that'll get in the dirt, and Ogle's going to head on over, and the throw in time. Ogle gets caught out, and the inning is over. What a play there from the catcher, Fonte, to get Ogle. And the inning is over. 7th inning was brought to you by Augusta Health. Coming up next, the top of the 8th, where the Braves will face off against Garcia, Miranda, Gary, due up in the top of the 8th, which is happening after this break. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia. Currently, the Braves are trailing the Turks by 9 here in the top of the 8th. Up first will be number 7
Now batting number
for the
7,
Turks,
O'Brien.
Andrew O'Brien, currently tending Shepherd. And Campos is making his second inning of work. And the first pitch inside, ball 1. Again, right now, Braves have had major substitutions so far. Cole Sofji is on over catching. Replaced Drew Lucy. And that pitch will miss, ball 2. So it's now a 2-0 count. Braden Tchaikovsky is over at first, replaced Keegan Hasler a couple innings ago. I want to say it's Josh Hall over at second. Ogles at shortstop. And Merrick is still at third. And there's strike 1 to O'Brien. Now the 2-1 pitch outside, ball 3. We now have a 3-1 count coming on the way to O'Brien. And the 3-1 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be hit, fly going into foul territory. Tchaikovsky gets under it and makes the catch in foul territory for out number 1. So with that, O'Brien flies out his first time. That'll bring up, I want to say, Trey Miranda.
Now batting Trey Miranda.
Yep, Trey Miranda will be up. Is currently 0 for 2 tonight, I believe. Or 0 for 1. He did reach on an error his first time up. First pitch in there, strike 1. So we now have an 0-1 count coming on the way. 1 out. Trey Miranda is currently batting. And the 0-1 pitch swung on. That'll be hit foul straight back for strike 2. So we now have an 0-2 count coming on the way with 1 out. Again, Trey Miranda, number 9 hitter tonight. And is currently facing an 0-2 count. Still looking for his first hit of the game. That's outside, ball 1. Yeah, Miranda, though, has gotten back-to-back walks, even though he's 0 for 2. Has managed to reach first for a couple times. And now Campos, 1-2 pitch on the way. That'll be outside, ball 2. So we now have a 2-2 pitch with 1 out here. Top of the 8th. Trey Campos will now get set. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be hit foul, so we'll redo the 2-2 count. Again, Trey Campos making his second inning of work. And will now deliver a 2-2 count. All right, Campos got the call and delivers. 2-2 pitch, swung on. That'll be fielded. Campos, or Tchaikovsky, takes it himself to the bag for out number 2. So Tchaikovsky on over at first has managed to record both outs so far. That'll bring up new hitter Tyler Boyson.
Now batting number 28, Tyler Boyson.
Tyler Boyson, currently attending Gulf Coast State. First pitch in there, strike 1. He does replace Bennett Gary. And the pitch, that'll be hit foul for strike 2. Now have an 0-2 count coming on the way. And now the 0-2 pitch coming on the way to Boyesen. That'll be inside, ball one. Boyesen ducking out of the way. Now he faces a 1-2 count. Still, Campos has just about everything at his disposal to try and get the strikeout and get out of this inning. The 1-2 pitch on the way. That'll be high inside, ball two. So 2 strikes followed by 2 balls. It gives us a full count pitch. Campos trying to get out of this 8th. As he'll now get set for the 2-2 pitch. Kicks, delivers, swung on. That'll be foul. So we'll redo the 2-2 count here with 2 outs. As Campos will now get set and delivers. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be in the dirt, foul. And we will do a third 2-2 count. So Campos will get the call. And now we'll get set. The 2-2 pitch on the way, outside, ball 3. The next time your Staunton Braves will be home will be July 16th when they host Charlottesville for Fan Appreciation Night, where the first 200 fans will receive a free t-shirt upon entry. And strike 3 called, and the inning is over. What a pitch there by Trey Campos. And the Turks score no runs off no hits. No errors were made, and no one was left on base. Coming up next, Braves down to their final 6 outs heading into the bottom of the 8th. Sponsored by CNF Mortgage, where the Braves will have
Debbie Clark, you'll be entered in that drawing. Also, the Braves will be no lower than the
Braga, Mars,
playoffs in the South Division.
And Tchaikovsky, I believe, are going to be up next to bat.
They do. The Braves will be playing here at home at Moxie Stadium on Tuesday.
Again, coming up next, top of the 8th. I mean, bottom of the 8th coming up after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia, currently in the bottom of the 8th, which is sponsored by CNF Mortgage. And the first pitch to Melton did not go, so we get ball 1. So Melton actually starting us off since Ogle got caught heading home after a wild pitch. And the 1-0 pitch to Melton. Swung on and missed for strike 1. So Melton currently 1 for 3 tonight. Flew out to right field his last time up. And the 1-1 pitch swung on. That'll be hit ground foul for strike 2. Again, we have a 1-2 count coming on the way with no outs. And the 1-2 pitch coming on the way, inside, ball 2. It is now a 2-2 count to Melton. Again, right now, Perota working on his 3rd inning of work. And the 1-2 pitch, or 2-2 pitch on the way. That'll be ball 3. Skips in the dirt. And we now have a full count pitch. So payoff pitch coming on the way from Perota. And it will be outside ball 4, and Melton gets the leadoff walk. As the Braves still down to their final 6 outs here. Trying to make this game at least a little closer. Brings up number 25.
Number 25, Tyler Rule.
Tyler Rule replaces Julian Braga. And the first pitch to Rule will be high, ball 1. So again, Tyler Rule making his appearance tonight. Replaces Braga. And that pitch will miss ball 2. So we now have a 2-0 count coming on the way. Rule currently attending VMI. Do get strike 1 after that tipped foul into the glove. So we now have a 2-1 count. Again, Brody Melton on over at first. 2-1 pitch to Rule. Did not go. So that gives us a 3-1 count. Right now, Rule trying to get the 5-pitch walk. And the 3-1 pitch on the way. That's high, ball 4, and now runners on first and second with no outs. Can the Braves it'll be number 30, Ethan Barnes takes over for Cooper Mars. Right now, first pitch coming to Barnes is in there for strike 1. So now Barnes faces an 0-1 count. Ethan Barnes currently attending Liberty. And the 0-1 pitch in there for strike 2. So we now have an 0-2 pitch coming on the way. To Barnes again, making his first at-bat of the night. And is trying to keep the runners going on with no outs. And the 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be hit foul, so we'll redo the 0-2 pitch. Again, right now it's currently a 9-run game. Braves down to their final 6 outs. And Perota is set, delivers the 0-2 pitch, swung on. That'll be hit right back up the middle, fielded by shortstop. Throw on second for 1, on to first, high, and that'll go for 1 out, and we get runners at the corners. Off the air from the second baseman.
Braden Tchaikovsky.
That brings up Braden Tchaikovsky for his second at bat. Struck out his last time up. And again, we have runners at the corners with 1 out here. Braden Tchaikovsky making his second at bat. First pitch be hit right back up the middle. That's fielded by the second baseman, and no play will be made. So Tchaikovsky gets the infield hit and the RBI to make it 4-12. And now runners at first and second with one out.
Now batting number 11, Josh
Bring
Hall.
up Josh Hall, making his second at bat. And pitch. That's going to be outside, ball one. And that was Barnes, I believe, currently on over at second. And the 1-0 pitch to be hit, fly straight back, foul for strike one. That gives us a 1-1 count with one out here. Again, it is now currently an 8-run game here in the eighth. Braves down to their final 5 outs. Swung on, miss, throw on over. Not in time. Great play there. Able to steal third. And we now have a 1-2 pitch. Again, Tchaikovsky stayed on over at first, so runners at the corners. 1 ball, 2 strikes coming to Josh Hall. One-two pitch coming on the way. Tchaikovsky will take on to second. No play will be made. And it was a called ball. And we do have an error on it that goes all the way over to left field. And 2 runs actually will come across to make it 6-12. And with that, it is now a 6-run game in favor of the Turks. Braves clawing back slowly but surely, as it is now a 6-run game. And we have a Turks mound visit. Probably just trying to settle everyone down after that mistake right there. So with that quick word, got everyone settled down. Josh Hall will step back up. Currently in a 2-2 count with 1 out, no one on base after an error by Fonte. Allowed both Barnes and Tchaikovsky to score. And now the pitch outside, ball 3 to Josh Hall. And now Hall's looking to get the walk. Payoff pitch coming from Perota. Kicks, delivers. Ball 4, Hall takes first. And with that, still 1 out. Hall draws the walk. That'll bring up
Now batting, Jake Merrick.
Jake Merrick. First pitch to Merrick in there for a strike one. So Merrick now facing an 0-1 count. Right now, Turks just trying to keep this a 6-run lead. Braves trying to get back in more. That pitch is low in the dirt, ball 1. And it is now a 1-1 count to Merrick, third baseman for the Braves. And now the 1-1 pitch on the way, and there's strike 2 to Merrick. Merrick does have a double walk strikeout. And we now have a 1-2 pitch coming to Merrick. And the 1-2 pitch swung on. That is going into left center field, and the catch will be made by Gary. And Hall heads on back for out, and that is out number 2. So Merrick flies out to left. That'll bring up
Now batting Cole Softgy.
Cole Softgy. Softgy struck out his last time up. And now faces Perota with 2 outs and a runner on over at first. And the first pitch to Softgy swung on. That'll be grounded. Fielded by the third baseman. Throws on over to first in time for out number 3. But the Braves managed to cut into this lead a little bit, scoring 4 runs and leaving one person on base. Coming up top of the 9th, where the Turks look to extend their lead and the Braves look to keep this just a 6-run deficit and a potential chance to tie or take the lead in the bottom of the 9th. As currently Braves down to their final 3 outs, but first, the end of the 8th, which was brought to you by CNF Mortgage, coming up next, top of the 9th. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia. Here we are, top of the 9th, which is brought to you by Brookdale Senior Living. New pitcher on the mound, number 27, Kevin Knight, making his 10th appearance. Has a 1.08 ERA and has pitched in 8.1 innings. First pitch from Knight. That'll be inside, ball 1. Going to be facing off against number 33, Andy Perez. Perez currently 0 for 5 tonight, or 0 for 4 tonight, my bad. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. In there, strike 1. We now have a 1-1 count to Perez. Again, no outs here, top of the 9th. Knight trying to put the Turks down in order, keep this a 6-run game. And 1-1 pitch coming on the way from Knight. That'll be high, ball 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike coming on the way. As Knight will get set. And delivers 2-1 pitch on the way. That'll hit right back up the middle, fielded by the shortstop. Throws on over to first. And that ends up going into the foul territory. No plays made. Error on Ogle. So with that, bring up #24, it looks like. First pitch from Knight. That'll be inside, ball one.
Now batting number 24.
Yeah, 24. Jackson Lucas, currently attending Troy. And he now faces a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be grounded, foul. So with that, that gives us a 1-1 count. Again, Lucas making his first at-bat tonight. Right now, a ground ball could get us out of the inning. With the double, or no outs here, never mind. It's a 1-1 with no, or 1-1 with no outs. And Knight delivers 1-1 pitch outside, ball two. So it is now a 2-1 count with no outs here. Again, runner on over at first. Knight now gets set. And delivers 2-1 pitch, high ball three. So we now have a 3-1 count. Coming, no outs here. Again, a runner on over at first in Perez. And now 3-1 pitch coming from Knight. Swung on, missed, strike two. And now we have a full count pitch coming on the way with no outs. And Knight looking for out number one. Perez on over at first. Takes step lead. Knight keeping an eye on him. And full count pitch on the way. Swung on. That'll be hit foul. And we'll redo the payoff pitch. So we have a full count pitch coming on the way to Lucas. Again, Lucas, freshman attending Troy. Looks like we're going to get quick look on at the soft G. Home plate umpire is going to quickly brush off home plate. And so we'll get set for the payoff pitch from Knight. Now Kevin Knight will get set and delivers. Payoff pitch on the way, runner on the move. That is swung on, going into foul territory. And we will do a third payoff pitch here in the top of the ninth with no outs. Again, Jackson Lucas making his first appearance tonight. He's currently facing a full count pitch. Kevin Knight trying to just keep this a 6-run game. Give his team a chance. That swung on, missed, strike three. And that is out number one. So Kevin Knight gets the strikeout. Coming up next, be number 29, it looks like. Be Andrew Fontaine.
Now batting Andrew Fontaine.
Fonte currently 3 for 5 tonight. And faces Kevin Knight for the first time. And runner on the move. Ball called, and Perez steals second. So with that, we got one out, a 1-0 count. Soft G not quite able to throw Perez out. Now Knight is going to get the call, glances back. And delivers. Runner on the move. Strike call. Throw on over. That is going to bounce. Head into left field. And Perez will score. So there's an error on soft G. Strike was called. And it is now 13-6 in favor of the Harrisonburg Turks. So a 1-1 count coming with one out to Fonte, the catcher. Now the Braves still just trying to keep this a 7-run game, still make it a little manageable, though they still need a big inning in the bottom of the ninth. As Knight gets set for the 1-1 pitch. Kicks, delivers, swung on, that is hit foul for strike 2. And we now have a 1-2 count with one out. So Knight now has a 1-2 count coming on Fonte. As Knight will get set. 1-2 pitch on the way. That'll be inside, ball 2. So that gives us a 2-2 count. Again, still one out here. So far, the biggest story of this game has been the errors and miscues, even on both sides of the ball. Mainly the Braves. And now the 2-2 pitch on the way outside, ball 3. And now Fonte is in a full count pitch with one out. Again, 7 runs is still doable. Slim, but doable in the bottom of the ninth with 3 outs. Remaining, Braves just need to keep it that way. That is swung on and missed, strike 3. And that is out number 2. So Knight gets the strikeout, and that'll bring up number 27, Brody Dalton. Dalton currently 3 for 5. And he will face Kevin Knight with 2 outs. Knight delivers first pitch, high, ball 1. So that gives us an 1-0 count coming on the way with 2 outs. No one on base. Again, 1 run has come across on a throwing error from Soft G. Now Knight delivers the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. That is going into right field. Base hit. And now with 2 outs, a runner is on first.
That brings up
Connor Spellman, number 42. Spielman currently 3 for 5 tonight. Knight trying to get the final out. So Knight delivers. Swung on. That is going high into left center field. Back to the wall. And it is gone. 2-run home run. That makes it now 15-6 in favor of the Turks. Back to a 9-run game. With that, that'll bring up number 15 for the Turks. That is Ben Garber. Garber is making his second at bat, currently 0 for 1 tonight. If I remember correctly, that pitch is in there for strike 1. So we now have an 0-1 count coming on the way with 2 outs. Again, Knight trying to get out of this inning, keeping this a 9-run game. And the 0-1 pitch outside, ball 2. So we now have a or a 2-0 count with 2 outs here. Or a 2-1 count with 2 outs here. And the 2-1 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be grounded. Heading on over. Second baseman fields it. And a quick flip on over to Tchaikovsky at first for out number 3. So the Turks and Amanda managed to score 3 runs, making it back to a 9-run game here in the bottom of the 9th. Brought to you by Brooksdale Senior Living. Braves look to try to make this closer, try and tie the game with their final 3 outs coming up after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia. New pitcher on the mound, wearing 17 tonight, I believe. Number 45 normally. Ryan Caldwell.
Ryan Caldwell now pitching.
First pitch is in there for strike 1. Sean Goldie will be his first batter he faces. Again, Braves now down to their final 3 outs. The 0-1 pitch outside, ball 1. Again, we have a 1-0 count coming on the way. Again, Sean Goldie flew out his last time up. Now faces a 1-1 count. The 1-1 pitch on the way, in there for strike 2. So we now have a 1-2 count coming on the way. No outs here. Top of the 9th. And the 1-2 pitch on the way, outside, ball 2. So again, Sean Goldie 0 for 1 so far tonight. Currently facing a 2-2 count. Just trying to get on base. Keep as many outs as possible. And the 2-2 pitch outside, ball 3. And now Goldie trying to get the walk. Again, Caldwell. Normally wearing 45, currently wearing 17 tonight. And the full count pitch on the way, swung on, that'll be hit foul. And we will have a second payoff pitch coming to Soft G. Right now, Soft G, or not Soft G, Goldie. And a payoff pitch count. And payoff pitch on the way, that'll be hit ground. Fielded by the third baseman, throws on over to first in time for outs number 1. And now the Braves down to their final 2 outs. So 1 out. That brings up number 14, Easton Ogle. Ogle singled his last time up. Right now, Braves could use a single and a little more singles after that just to get back into the first pitch. That went through for strike 1. So Ogle now is in an 0-1 count. And the 0-1 pitch on the way in there for strike 2. Now Ogle down to 1 final strike before out number 2. You want to try to fight, stay alive, get on base somehow. And the 0-2 pitch from Coel will be outside, ball 1. So now a 1-2 pitch coming on the way with 1 out here. In the bottom of the 9th, Braves down to their final 2 outs. And the 1-2 pitch, that'll be hit high going back. And that'll be foul. So we'll redo the 1-2 pitch. On deck is Brody Melton. So right now, Ogle in a 1-2 count, just trying to get on base. Coel will get set. And now kicks and delivers. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. And that is out number 2. So with that strikeout, that'll bring up Brody Melton. Melton currently 1 for 3, walked his last time up. And right now represents just the final out that Braves have in this game.
Brody Melton, the batter.
Again, Coel is currently pitching. And the first pitch to Melton, that'll be low, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-0 count with 2 outs here, bottom of the 9th. Coel will get the call. And 1-0 pitch on the way in there for strike 1. So we now have a 1-1 count coming with 2 outs here. Brody Melton again, 1 for 3. Did walk his last time up. 1-1 pitch on the way. That's slow way, ball 2. So we now have a 2-1 count coming. 2 outs here. Bottom of the 9th. Braves down to their final out. And the 2-1 pitch on the way in there for strike 2. And now Braves down to their final strike. Unless Melton can get on base. Coel will get set. And the 2-2 pitch on the way outside, ball 3. It is now a 3-2 count. Coel, payoff pitch again, 1 strike away from ending this game. And the payoff pitch on the way, that'll be fielded by the shortstop. Throws on over to first. in time for out number 3, and the game is over. So the Turks managed to win this game 15-6 here through 9 innings. Again, want to take a quick moment to thank Augusta Health, CNF Mortgage, and Brookdale Senior Living. Next, again, the next home game will be Thursday, July 16th versus Charlottesville. We also have Fan Appreciation Night, so the first 200 fans will receive free T-shirts. And I'm pretty sure there's also a discount on hot dogs as well. So if you would like to appreciate or be appreciated, then I highly encourage you to come out here, come out and celebrate one of the Braves' final home games of the season. Again, the Harrisonburg Turks win it 15-6 after 9 innings. I'm Conrad Spangler, and for the rest of the Braves Braves staff, want to thank you for tuning in tonight and watching this edition of Valley League Baseball. Good night.